Corios Veloce is all about predictive customer journey analytics. We want to know the right time to engage the customer with a highly relevant offer, and we use high-powered predictive analytics applied to customer transaction and interaction data to develop stories about where the customer's been and where they're going. Here's an example taken from the banking industry that we helped a national bank tackle, specifically related to predicting when is a customer in the market for a home mortgage. And even more specifically, when will they be interested in applying to pre-qualify for a mortgage, which is the first step in the process. We know from experience that if your customer doesn't first pre-qualify with you, they'll never come to you to apply for the mortgage, so being involved at the start of the sales consideration cycle is essential. The senior executive in charge of retail mortgages reviews a dashboard presenting the bank's trend of mortgage sales and mortgage interest rates. The bank benchmarks themselves compared to the market. The left-hand chart shows that compared to national home sales, which have been growing steadily since the crash in 2008, displayed here, the bank's home sales matched the growth rate in the market up through 2012, and then growth flattened out. The forecast for Q3 and Q4 of 2016 look like continued growth for the market, but uncertain growth, if any at all, for the bank. The first thing that could be done is to examine the bank's interest rates charged on those mortgages, which have actually been getting more aggressive ever since 2011. And in fact, the last 24 months, the bank has taken an even more aggressive stance on its own rates, despite the average market rate being higher and relatively flat. So if our interest rates are competitive but our sales growth is falling short of the market growth rate, there's got to be something else that's causing us to lose out on sales growth. The mortgage analytics team has been working on this problem for a few months and has some ideas about how to look at flat mortgage sales growth in a new way. Rather than looking only at the profile of the customer at the time of the mortgage sale, they're drilling deeper by looking at the customer's transaction history and interaction history. The first way they do that is to look at the customers who have historically opened mortgages and determine what is the series of life events that occur prior to opening the mortgage account. Then we compare customers who haven't applied for mortgages in the matching time period and look for differences in the profiles between mortgage customers and non-customers. If we can find event sequences that actually differentiate the two groups, we could use that information to better predict the customers. Moreover, we could also tell which life events and sequences are leading indicators of when and how far in advance those customers would be interested in a mortgage offer. Looking at the left-hand chart, here are customers who have applied for mortgages, and we can see from these charts, which are called Sankey charts, what the path of events for each group of mortgage applicants was prior to applying. The width of each path is the number of customers following that path. If you look at the right-hand side of each path on the left-hand chart, you'll see that each one of these paths ends in applying for a home mortgage. The chart on the right-hand side of the page shows the complement. Here are customers who haven't applied for a home mortgage in the same calendar period of time. If we could track every current customer and find out what path they are on, we could tell whether they're on the way towards being in the market, at least with regards to life events and other interactions. We use the very same approach to analyze customer behavior online, such as web and mobile banking, and their interactions with the bank in the call center, the branch, at ATMs, with large transactions, and so on, in order to determine the leading indicators for an important event in the future, such as a mortgage application. The problem is we haven't used this sort of information in the past yet to predict which customers are in the market for mortgages, and if we did, perhaps we'd improve our targeting and sales lead effectiveness. Another approach that the mortgage analytics team has been following is to monitor changes in customer behavior using their financial transaction history. Unlike traditional approaches that only look at the average balance per customer over the last 3 to 6 months, now we're actually looking at weekly and daily changes in behavior, drilling deeper in leading indicators of being in the market for a mortgage. For instance, we know that prior to applying for a mortgage, savvy consumers will pay down their open credit accounts so that their debt-to-income measures look stronger to a potential lender. They'll also often consolidate their credit accounts in order to make their available credit limits look more conservative. So if we can find customers who are drawing down their credit balances and reducing their spending on credit, that could be useful to improve the way we identify customers who are getting ready to be in the mortgage market. Looking at the left-hand chart, this is monitoring the average balance in thousands of dollars of revolving credit balance for a peer group of customers. The peer group was selected based on similarity among a credit balance size, movement, and volatility. The customer in question, whose daily balance is displayed in red, has started inside the expected boundary for their peer group, But by the 17th of December, their balances dropped significantly, all the way to very near $0. This is likely either a paydown of the balance or is an unexpected consolidation, since the rest of the peer group hasn't trended in that direction. As of the 17th of December, their likelihood of exhibiting behavior change has escalated. Similarly, the right-hand chart shows the count of daily credit transactions across all cards issued by the bank to another customer and their peer group. While through day 4, the customer is trending along with their peer group, by day 5, their transaction count starts to dip below the expected range. It's still trending consistent with their peers, but at a lower volume. This also represents a potential change in behavior and a possible leading indicator of being in the market. There are many such changes in trend, volume, and volatility across many such financial products, time spans, and peer group types. Some of them are likely to also be related to mortgage in the market likelihood. The problem is, we haven't used this sort of information in the past to predict which customers are in the market for mortgages, and if we did, perhaps we'd improve our targeting and sales lead effectiveness. Until now. From a recent project with a real bank who was actually tackling the problem of improving the identification of mortgage prospects who were in market, Corios played the role of the analytics team. We built the analytics from the first example of event sequences tied to customer interactions, and we built the trending and behavior migration analytics from financial transaction histories, as in the second example. Then we built 2 predictive models to identify historical mortgage in-market customers. The first model used only baseline attributes of customers. And for the second model, we added the event sequence, peer group, and behavior migration indicators. The second model was substantially stronger than the first. Look at the left-hand chart and you'll see the predictive gains of each model. While the baseline customer model correctly identified 25% of the mortgage pre-qualifier applicants in the top 10% of the ranked customers, the enhanced model improved that by identifying 44% of the pre-qualifiers in the top 10% of the ranked customers. That's a 76% improvement over the baseline model by using interaction and transaction information in the model. But we're not done yet. What makes this enhanced model really powerful is its performance inside the top decile, as shown on the right-hand chart. Among the top 2% of ranked customers using our enhanced model, we'd expect to correctly identify pre-qualifiers in over 7% of the customers we might contact, compared to only 1.7% of the pre-qualifiers in the top 2% of customers. That's a greater than 300% improvement in performance. But we're not done yet. Here's the really powerful implication of using interaction and transaction data as predictors in these scoring models. Transaction and interaction data get refreshed every day, and hence our scores update every day. This increases the number of times we can detect changes in customer behavior from only 12 times a year with monthly refresh data to more than 360 times a year with daily refresh data. We can watch customers who show the signs of looking like in the mortgage market pre-qualifiers and send them a highly relevant offer. Our enhanced model tells us we will probably improve the likelihood of sending them a highly relevant offer 3 times as often as if we only used monthly data. On this page, the upper left chart shows a comparison of customers from our results who became pre-qualifiers in January, in blue, versus those that didn't pre-qualify, in green, as the scores for the entire group of customers refresh every day. The lower left chart shows that we can be highly selective, as nearly all the most attractive customers are in the top decile. The chart on the upper right shows how on a daily basis, individual customers like 1, 2, 3, and 4 all escalate their likelihood to be in the market at different times, up to the point where they actually applied for a mortgage pre-qualification, and then their scores dropped off again. Well, all that's great, but it's especially important to be able to apply that to customers who haven't already pre-qualified, because that is our market opportunity to grow sales. That's in the lower right-hand chart. Here are customers who haven't already applied, but customer number 5 started peaking on December 5th. Customer 6 started peaking on December 23rd. Customer 7 and 8 started peaking on December 29th, and they're both still in the market. Better go call them. So how would we do that? We track all these scores in our analytics database, and then we can send targeted campaigns to each customer as their scores peak. We can send the highest scoring customers directly to the call center, while we can send an email or mobile banking offer to the customers whose scores are growing but not yet at their prime. The key is that we identify who the in the market for mortgage customers are when their scores are high, and we target them effectively at the right time. By tracking the customer's responses to these campaigns, we can solidify their interest in a highly relevant mortgage offer, and we can also gather more information that will further improve the effectiveness of our predictive models over time. You might be asking, okay, this Veloce solution sounds interesting, but exactly what is it, and how can I take advantage of it? The first thing you need to know is Veloce is delivered to our clients through a partnership between Corios and SAS Institute. Veloce is a combination of Corios know-how and intellectual property and the superior analytics technology platform provided by SAS. Corios and SAS have a long and healthy relationship going back to the 12 years in which key members of the Corios team, including Robin Way and Brent Lever, were both employed by SAS. Robin and Brent were a big part of helping SAS's financial services clients to deliver customer value through predictive customer analytics. And the strengths of that relationship have been transformed when Robin started Corios in 2010 and when Brent joined the Corios team several years later. Corios is a gold-level partner in the SAS Partner Program, and Corios has delivered superior value for more than 100 SAS clients in North America over the last 7 years. SAS awarded its very first Customer Intelligence Competency Certificate to Corios in 2015. An externally recognizable measure of recognition for Corios through its joint efforts with SAS is an Inc. magazine recognizing Corios as number 400 among the fastest growing privately held companies in the country for the period 2012 to 2015. Let's turn our attention back to Corios Veloce. Like I said a few minutes ago, Veloce is a combination of Corios know-how and intellectual property, and the superior analytics technology platform provided by SAS. This illustration shows specifically how the Veloce solution is built, with Corios know-how for the analytic data model, predictive customer journey analytics routines, and generation and pursuit of customer leads, all relying on a robust analytics platform provided by SAS. SAS capabilities include Enterprise Miner, SAS Foundation Analytics, the SAS Customer Decision Hub, and SAS Visual Analytics that are all essential components that support Corios' intellectual property that's proven to deliver results for fast-paced, demanding industry leaders. I assume by this point that you're pretty interested in what you've learned about the Corios Veloce solution and how you can get started exploring the solution in more detail. Contact Andrew Bowden of SAS so you can schedule your very own Veloce readiness assessment. When you participate in this assessment, you'll receive a step-by-step roadmap for how your organization can pursue these benefits, and a projection of the customer and financial benefits your organization can generate by successfully implementing Veloce. We look forward to hearing from you.